$2.5 million. Hey everybody, today we're going to be looking at my listing at 409 3rd Street in Park Slope in Brooklyn. This is an 1,125 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom condo with a gorgeous private roof deck. It's a very special property. It's a condo in a converted brownstone building, and the fact that it's a condo is pretty significant because this is an area where most of the apartments are co-ops. And this is on 3rd Street on one of the most beautiful blocks in Brooklyn, set a couple blocks from one of the most desirable public schools. If you know, you know. If you don't know, the school zones here are a big factor in pricing and valuation. So I'm going to give you a tour of this property, and we will start by looking at the outside. So this is the building here, 409 3rd Street, and I mentioned that it was a converted brownstone. Technically it's not. It's sort of a hybrid. I'll zoom in here. On this level, it is a brownstone. And you can see over here, those are classic brownstones. This one is like part brownstone and part brick. So I'm actually not even sure what you would call that, but this is the building. And as you can see, it's on one of the most beautiful blocks in Brooklyn. Highly desirable location. Extra wide sidewalks, wide street. It's really pretty. The apartment is set on the top floor, right up there. Those are our windows. One thing to note is that this is a landmarked building and a landmarked block. Landmarks is a historical designation. Any work you want to do to the facades of these buildings, the exteriors of these buildings, has to be approved by the Landmarks Commission, which is a process that takes a little while and can be very expensive. Contractors who work on these buildings have to be specialized, and so they cost more. I mean, if you look at some of these, I won't look at the detail on some of these facades. It's very specialized work and pretty expensive. So this is a 4th floor walk-up. It's a lot of stairs. And it might shock you to see how many stairs, but this is actually a highly desirable property in a highly desirable location. So let's go inside and start the tour. So heading inside, get ready for some stairs. This is a 4th floor walk-up. You can see the people are storing boots and shoes outside of their apartment. These old buildings date back to the late 1800s or early 1900s, depending on the block. And they were, a lot of them, not really intended to be apartment buildings. So they're really just converted mansions. There is no elevator. And we are on the top floor of a 4th floor walk-up, and yeah, you gotta really want it. But it's worth it. Once you get in here, you'll see. This is definitely one of my favorite listings of the year. Just a quick survey, and then I'll go in more depth for each room. So this apartment is about 1,125 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms, with a glorious private roof deck. And when I say glorious, I mean this is the envy of the neighborhood. Air conditioning in every room with the mini splits. It has a washer and dryer, and it was renovated probably around 2016. My clients, the current owners, bought this apartment pretty much like this. The only thing they did was the floors. And If you check out these floors, they're actually really beautiful. They have this herringbone floor throughout the apartment. So going into the living room, the ceilings are 10 feet, which is unusually high for a top floor apartment. Like a lot of these old buildings, they have this beautiful, I guess you wouldn't call them bay windows, but it's sort of similar to a bay window situation. And we're looking out on 3rd Street, Park Slope, just pretty green. This view is not going to change, ever. This is a landmark block, which means it's a historical designation. There are height restrictions on the buildings. Landmarks Commission governs what you can do to the exterior of the building. And the idea is to preserve the historical feel of the block and the area. So this is not going to change. Look at this living room. It's sunny, it's bright. Now this is a common configuration with brownstone, converted brownstone townhouses. You have a small front room that a lot of people use as an office, but here in Park Slope, where 3 bedrooms are at a premium, in high demand, almost everyone uses this as the 3rd bedroom. It's not too big, but it works. Now, one thing I'll point out that a lot of people don't think of, there are steam radiators in every room, and these are run off of the building's boiler. So heat is included in the monthly common charges, which are only $500 in this apartment, which is pretty low. But heat is included because it's just one boiler and the building pays that bill, and then you're paying your proportionate share as an owner. But these mini splits that we have in every room also have heat. So if you wanted, you could remove this entirely, cap it, and then free up some additional wall space and just use the mini splits for heat. Not quite as efficient, it's going to cost you more money, but maybe the trade-off is that you have a little more wall space. And if you come back out in the living room, you can see that the radiator is really big. So if you did that in here, you'd free up all that space. So moving back into the dining area, again, another mini split, and into the kitchen. I love this kitchen. It's not huge. We had someone here a little while ago who was complaining that it was too small, but I don't know. I think it's really tastefully done. Big farmhouse style sink. The fixtures may not be for everyone. They may not be everyone's taste, but they're very easy and inexpensive to replace. The gas stove is becoming increasingly rare in Brooklyn, in New York City, as the city is trying to phase out gas. They're trying to get everyone to go induction. So if you were to do a renovation here that needed a permit, you have to be very careful about what you do so that you don't lose the ability to have a gas stove. Now this kitchen has a skylight with UV protection, which is great. Add a bunch of extra sunlight into the space. So there you have the main living space. It's just really nice, really functional. Has a very peaceful vibe. Okay, let's move back into the other bedrooms. And then we'll go up to the roof. Coat closet here. Again, 10-foot ceilings throughout. Does have a vented washer dryer. Let me back this up so you can see. Not every building has a vented washer dryer because you have to to have it vented to the outside, you have to put a hole in the building, and not everybody wants to do that. So a lot of people are using the self-venting, but this one has a vented dryer, which a lot of people crave. So moving back into what these guys are using as the primary bedroom. It's very spacious. Again, mini split air conditioning. You could actually fit a king size bed. This is a queen. There'd be no problem to fit a king in here. And we are facing the rear of the building, so it's quiet and peaceful. Now this thing, this cracks me up because this is a $2.5 million property, but they have kept this security gate. Most people would remove this immediately upon buying this apartment. It would be very easy. Just have a handyman come and just remove this. But they have kept it for whatever reason. But again, this is a huge radiator. Look how big this is. That's a big radiator. So if you wanted to remove that and cap it and use the mini split for heat, you would free up all this space. Now, a big selling point for this bedroom is this closet. Huge walk-in closet. I mean, this is a really big closet with built-ins. Okay, moving out into the second bedroom. This is where they have this is their kids' room. It's not huge, but big enough for a twin bed, some toys. You know, when you live in Park Slope, you do most of your living outside and in your main area, so a lot of people just compromise on the bedroom size. And this is just fine for a kid. So let's go down. Oh yes. So this bathroom has a nice big deep tub, extra deep tub. I love this tile. And again, 10-foot ceilings throughout. It really makes the space feel large. This bathroom has a walk-in shower. Now, people keep asking about this. Why is this shower raised up off the ground? And actually, it took us a little while to figure that out. But it turns out that the previous owners did a renovation and they wanted to completely gut this bathroom. And they didn't want to have to go into the neighbor's apartment underneath and go up into the floor to do whatever plumbing work they had to do. So they did this. And there's a window in here to an air shaft, so you could open that and get some extra ventilation. It's a pretty bathroom. So now it's time to go up to the roof. So one cool feature here is that this roof is accessed by a hydraulic skylight. And I have the remote here. It's a very cool feature. I don't know what you do if the power goes out. Hopefully it doesn't go out while it's raining, but it's pretty cool. So this apartment has exclusive use of the roof. It's in the offering plan, it's in the rules for the building. The only reason anyone but you would come up here would be for maintenance. But look at this. This is what makes this property so special. That's all downtown Brooklyn right there. That's the famous clock tower. Here, I can make it a little bigger. The famous clock tower. Look at this roof deck. There is power up here, and you know, a lot of people in New York have an outdoor space. They'll pay a premium for an outdoor space, and then they don't use it that much. But when you have a space like this, you'll definitely use it. This is really special. That's Methodist Hospital up the hill, and then behind that will be Prospect Park. Those two buildings right there are at the corner of Union and Grand Army Plaza, one of the access points to the park. Look at this spectacular view. Now, one interesting thing is that the owner of this apartment does not own the roof. The condo still owns the roof. So when maintenance has to be done or the roof has to be replaced, it is the entire condo's responsibility financially. And so this deck was created with that in mind. I shouldn't be walking on here, but I'm going to do it for a sec. You can see the deck was built, was raised up so that you can access underneath for maintenance, and the entire deck can be removed if the roof ever needs to be replaced, and then it can be put back. And that would be the condo's responsibility to do that. So these guys have a pretty sweet deal. And that's your tour of 409 3rd Street in Park Slope, Brooklyn. And this is an example of what you can get for $2.5 million. Thanks for joining me on this tour. If you like content like this, real, down-to-earth real estate videos without all the sexy music, without all the electronic music, and without all the special effects, please subscribe and follow me, because I'll be doing a lot more of them. I'll see you guys out there.